It's August 1939, 1 month before the German invasion of Poland, and relations between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany have improved dramatically, with Stalin going as far as firing his former Jewish foreign minister, replacing him with Molotov to appease Hitler. Meanwhile, Hitler sent diplomats over to Stalin to discuss economic cooperation and finding common ground on opposition against the capitalist democracies, claiming that the anti-Comintern pact was aimed at them rather than the Soviets. At the same time, the tripartite military talks between Britain, France and the USSR broke down after the West failed to come to an agreement regarding the movement of Soviet troops through Poland if Germany were to attack them. On the 23rd of August, Ribbentrop, the German Minister of Foreign Affairs, would visit the Kremlin to sign the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a 10-year pact of non-aggression between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. For the Germans, this guaranteed peace on their eastern front while they invaded France, and for the USSR, this agreement would guarantee German cooperation if it were to expand its borders further into Eastern Europe. The world was stunned. The very idea that these two powers could form an alliance was unnerving, saying nothing more unbelievable could be imagined. Even a joke was made that Stalin had joined the anti-Comintern pact, but propaganda in both countries were hard at work, attempting to convince the population that they were not just enemies at the start of the decade. However, there was one secret protocol that was unknown to the rest of the world: the division of Eastern Europe into spheres of influence between the two. On Germany's side included Norway, Lithuania, Western Poland and Vilnius, whereas Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Eastern Poland and Bessarabia fell on the Soviet side. But the way Europe would end up to be divided did not entirely follow the pact. First was Poland, with Germany's invasion on the 1st of September and the USSR following suit on the 17th. However, Germany's invasion was much quicker than anticipated and occupied much more of Poland than what was agreed upon by the pact. Therefore, an altercation was made for Germany to occupy these lands in exchange for Lithuania. The next countries to be victims of this pact were the Baltics, where all the Soviet Union had to do was send ultimatums to each state demanding Soviet troops move through their territory. The Baltics had no choice but to accept, and once the Red Army moved in, they were there to stay. By November 30th, Finland was caught up in this pact, but things didn't go to plan here either. After rejecting Soviet demands, the Winter War began, and Finland single-handedly held off the Red Army for over 3 months before an agreement was signed, only ceding to the original demands after inflicting massive casualties on the Soviet Union, whose original aim was to formally annex the entirety of Finland. Finally, Romania was forced to hand over Bessarabia, but the Soviets also invaded Bukovina, which went beyond the agreed sphere of influence and technically violated the treaty. In the meantime, Hitler had invaded Denmark, Norway, the Benelux, and conquered France. With no more land between them, Stalin would propose that the USSR join the Axis as a continental bloc against the West and the USA. But Hitler ignored it. His intentions were never to have the Soviet Union as an ally, but to placate them while fighting the West, but that was over now. On the 22nd of June 1941, the pact would be terminated with the commencement of Operation Barbarossa, a huge invasion of the Soviet Union with over 3.8 million Axis forces against an unprepared USSR. However, in this game, things go a little differently. John Parker 117 as the USSR and I as Germany attempt to take this pact a step further, creating the Berlin-Moscow axis in an attempt to conquer the world. I'm Colonel Cam, and welcome to a Berlin-Moscow world conquest in Hearts of Iron 4. Hello guys, and welcome to another multiplayer video. Really quickly, subscribe to John Parker, okay? Not just me, okay, subscribe to me too, but also subscribe to John Parker 117. The amount of trials and tribulations we faced in this video is unheard of, okay? I mean, you'd think it'd be easy, being like one of the two strongest powers ally, but no, this was hard. Anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, this is my controversial opinion about civ grading. I think as Germany, or like any country that has access to a lot of resources, you don't need to build many civs.
You see, this is why the Australians needed us to carry them in World War II. You see, the Americans were experts at civ greeting, so we were able to win the war on our backs.
Yeah, that's fair. But then, it takes you, 3 years to get involved in the war anyway? Controversial opinions aside, I have a very big decision to make in terms of my economy as Germany, so I decided to consult John Parker about this. Okay, we got a really big question here as Germany. One to do with the economy that I don't know, is a mutually exclusive decision.
MIFO bills is what you do if you hate yourself. If you don't hate yourself, you do prioritize economic growth.
I remember the last time I did do the 4-year plan and I tried to do it and I just could not get autarky achieved. It just wasn't happening. I lost to the Soviets because I just had 100% consumer goods and just couldn't produce anything. So I decided to go down prioritize economic growth because I'm not going to be invading the Soviet Union, so I wouldn't be able to get 100 of each resource anyway. As expected with Australian internet, I dropped out a connection within 20 minutes. So yeah, I mean, this was the only time it happened, luckily.
Should I do that thing where you like cuck the United States by making their popularity under 95%? So they can't do the AI freaks out when it happens.
Now what John Parker is talking about here is a thing that happens with America, is if you get their democracy support below 95%, it locks them out of like half their tree, like the giant wakes part of it, which is insane. And I mean, we're going to take every advantage we can get, so yeah, he went ahead and did it. However, we were not sure if it would work, because when we do the Berlin-Moscow axis, every country just joins the allies automatically, so I feel like it would just be unlocked anyway.
It makes it so America can't remobilize until it's attacked.
I'm not 100% sure if that will work, because when we do the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact, I think everyone just joins in a faction like a coalition against us anyway. I can't believe I have to do that. No, I'm not doing the anti-Comintern pact. Actually, guys, the anti-Comintern pact is aimed at the Western democracies. That's why all of the countries that border the Soviet Union are in it. God, I can't believe how, like, stupid Stalin was. Well, he wasn't dumb. Like, he was actually a really smart guy, but he didn't trust anyone. He was paranoid about every single person except for Hitler. Like, the one guy he was... I mean, it's ridiculous.
Old Stalin's getting paranoid now.
Uh-oh, the paranoia system.
As a first sign of diplomatic friendship, I'm gonna ask for docking rights.
The Spanish Civil War went off, and we thought about supporting the same side, but we realized we couldn't, so we still had to support the opposite side. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm building 2 more civs, and then I'm just building those. The military factories are coming out. They're being pumped out now. Oh, yeah. If we're going to have every air force against us, then it's very important that I build my own fighters that's very capable. So I built this. I don't know if it's capable or not, but we're going to build a lot of them. Yeah, this is why I never show my designs in my video, because I know I'm going to get yelled at in the comments. But I'm not worried about, like, when I play my games, I'm never worried about the meta.
Man, I'm so not bugging out, but like my filter is like slowly peeling off because I'm on I drank the Red Bull and so I'm like hyper.
Oh yeah, the Red Bull.
And I almost just started doing my Trump impression.
I forgot to mention that our time zones are exactly 12 hours apart. So while I am recording this at like 10 a.m. in the day, it's like 10 p.m. for him, and we still have many hours of recording to go. But we did this in 2 sessions, so the next recording session I stayed up till like 1 a.m. instead of him, so it was fair, but at this instance, John Parker stayed up very late.
It's wonderful, really. Adolf Hitler is great statesman, great general. He knows how to run a country, folks. Just like me. Not as good as me. Maybe not as good as me. But he knows how to run a country.
But yeah, even if we do get like really far into this campaign today, if you want, and it's completely up to you, if you want to do a second recording session where we fight each other, I'd be completely down for that.
Yeah. Now is the perfect opportunity to say to go and like both videos, okay? If we get 10k likes on both of our videos combined, then we're gonna fight each other in a massive duel after we've conquered the world. But only if we get 10k likes across both videos. So just anyway, it could be 5k on mine, 5k on his, 3k on mine, 7k on his, it doesn't matter, as long as it's 10k combined. We also made separate peace deals, and you guys will vote on which peace deal save we use for us to fight.
So another thing we gotta remember about the alliance with the USSR and the new patch is that it only lasts for 730 days.
It was brought to my attention that our alliance only lasts for 730 days once we make it, but fortunately we are in a multiplayer game, and if we want to make a new faction, we can just do it straight away.
But here's a real question. Post Goddardamaroon, have you ever used a nuke?
No.
No, me neither.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's so much harder to do now. However, later this game, I'll actually be using a nuke for the first time in this game. I never did it because it was so much effort, and it just, by the time you get the technology, the game is over, but, you know, not this time.
When I was watching your channel to, like, get a good grasp on, like, what type of videos you make, I was kind of, like, left in awe about, like, the intros and such. Like, I really liked them.
Thank you. The intros do take, the majority of the time I spend working on my videos it's the intros, because they take definitely the longest.
If anything, it's inspiring. Like, I think after my cancer treatment's done and I like recover and such, I might try and do, like, I don't want to like copy you, like, out of respect.
No, you can.
But like, I wanna do something like inspired.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, feel free to. I don't own history. That was a nice little moment. Anyway, back to taking over the world. I just finished researching flame tanks, so now I will be incorporating a flame tank into every single infantry division as a support company.
Now this is where I will judge you, because there's one way you have to make flame tanks.
Look, I'm okay. Light tank, right?
It doesn't matter what type of tank you use. It just matters what you put in it.
Oh,
and it's kind of a trick question. What do you put in a flame tank?
Flamethrower.
I do with a flame tank is I put a flamethrower on it and nothing else.
Which I think makes sense, because you want to make these as cheap as possible to produce if you're going to put them on a bunch of infantry divisions. So there's no point making them more expensive if you don't need to.
Because no matter how cheap it is, you still get the terrain bonuses, and that's the only thing you want flame tanks for.
Anyway, thanks to my crazy amount of mills that I've been building, I have no problem in allocating military factories to build these as quick as possible. Far out. I need so many. I've been building mills forever, and I need more military factories. I need more. It's 1938, so it's about time I start thinking about some territorial expansion, including Austria and the Anschluss. However, with the new update, or not really new anymore, but with the second latest update, I have to have an army that's like a certain percent amount bigger than Austria's, and I don't know how big their army is, so yeah, I'm just gonna, I mean, there's nothing I can do apart from just train more divisions. Yes. There it is.
Hooray!
Alright, can we pause the game real quick? I need to organize some stuff. After organising all of the divisions I got from Austria and the factories as well, the next on the shopping block was Czechoslovakia. I already have 70 military factories. This is insane. I can produce so much equipment. And look, I still have 3 lines of civilian factories. I mean, whoever told you to civ greed, especially as Germany in Hearts of Iron 4, is lying. I also got some designs for tank divisions and self-propelled artillery, which I kept the self-propelled artillery, but of course I designed my own medium tanks.
I think my collaboration government in China is going to be a waste, because I think Japan might actually kill them.
Alright, I'm going to add instead of adding self-propelled artillery to my tank divisions, I'm just going to add it to my motorized, because then my tank divisions have normal motorized, and then I've got both light and heavy, medium tanks in them. Yeah, no, I've got 5 light tank battalions, 3 medium tank battalions, but I'm going to switch it out over time, and then 6 motorized battalions, and then the motorized recon, support artillery, and armored engineer company. Hate on it all you like, okay? It's a single player game. Well, it's not single player, but we're not playing like a competitive multiplayer, okay? It's fine.
You want to see a magic trick? Abracadabra.
Alright, there we go. Sudetenland is mine.
And goodbye, Lithuania. No magic trick for you.
I wish I did my research on the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact before I recorded this playthrough, because it would have been interesting to see what the actual original borders of the pact was supposed to be, with me having Lithuania and then like less of Poland. I don't know, it'd look interesting. Another reason why you should build mills early is if you build mills later, you have to wait a longer time before you get the product efficiency up, right? Now I've already got all my product efficiency pretty much at the top, and it's not even, the war hasn't begun. I officially invented radar, fixing my mistake I made with Hansen, or I just ignored it.
Yep, there goes China. I can't wait to see what they did with it.
That's a pretty cool peace deal.
Do I still have my collaboration? I might still use my collaboration, because if I can make a collaboration government in China, that'd be even better.
And there goes the fate of Czechoslovakia. It was brought to my attention that I might as well do Yugoslavia. If I'm going to be at war with pretty much the entirety of the world, yeah.
Be kicked out. You can say yes. I mean, they'll be kicked out anyway.
It could put them at war with the Allies. This was concerning whether we should let Italy, or anyone for that matter, in our faction, and in order to try and make it as accurate as possible with just a Berlin-Moscow axis, I said no. It was just going to be me and the Soviet Union. They refused. I'll leave it then.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
I thought about invading Yugoslavia, which would then bring Romania into the war, and that is it. But I was afraid that the Allies were going to guarantee them, and I really wanted Poland just to be the start of the war. Anyway, we signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop pact, and I was ready to go when he was. While this was happening, he had already been invading Finland, and because he is a competent player and not the AI, he annexed them pretty quickly. Ah, so you took, how do you even say that state? Kymi?
And now we can control the front with Norway and such.
Yeah.
Because if I don't call them the puppet, they can't march through there.
What do you reckon?
Right, and I should be able to get Bessarabia before that.
I might do one more focus. What do you reckon? Alright, I'm doing the focus now. So, by 1940, we were ready to declare war on Poland.
I never really think about this, but it's like summertime in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, we've actually had a heat wave. It's been around 38 degrees Celsius, like, for the whole week.
Wow.
Which in Fahrenheit is...
Yeah, I was about to say, I wish I could understood what that mean.
Wow, the language barrier is crazy. I had to search it up, and 38 degrees Celsius is the same as 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I started talking about aircon, you know, like air conditioning, and he had no idea what I was talking about. It's like he knew what air conditioning meant, but the shorthand that we say, aircon, he just didn't know.
You say aircon like it's a support company. You put aircon on your divisions. I guess we just call it conditioning. Like...
Yeah. No, I didn't say this during recording, but I think he calls it thermostat. In America, it's thermostat, right? Anyway, it was time. I completed the focus, the Berlin-Moscow axis, or the Berlin-Moscow alliance.
3, 2, 1. Just got deployed.
Gosh. The Berlin-Moscow axis. I had made sure I covered every single front, including my ports, Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, maybe Italy, I don't even know, they're fascist, so probably not, Hungary, and Poland. So yeah, I had a lot to cover.
Liberia joins the Allies. If that's all that happens, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Oh, Scandinavia. This is what the full extent of the Allies looks like now, with no one else joining it. So we got Chile, America, that's a problem. All of Britain, obviously, France, yeah, Scandinavia, Lowland. I mean, just have a look yourself. I'm not reading them all.
I think now is a good time to finally consolidate my tanks and actually use them.
All right. I think it's time. I declared war on Poland and immediately was being attacked on all fronts. Poland, of course, was very easy. We just had to take the Polish corridor and then no Allied forces could get in there to save them. However, because the Lowlands joined the Allies before I declared war on them, they had a lot of troops there waiting for me to attack, so getting into France might be a bit difficult. However, with the use of my tank divisions, I managed to break through into the Ardennes, even with no supply, with Soviet infantry backing me up every step of the way.
I'm gonna send my tanks to Denmark and try and push up into there.
However, the Allies had other plans. Fortunately, it was only a small breakthrough. They managed to cross the Rhine, but this provided the opportunity for an encirclement. Yes, here we go. We're pushing in.
The tanks have made a breakthrough.
Now that Poland had capitulated, I could send my whole army over to Belgium now because the Netherlands has capitulated. Yep. Belgium. I'm justifying on Hungary now. For southern Slovakia.
We're about to take Paris.
And with the fall of Paris, France was on their way to capitulation too. There we go. Okay, I'm guarding the ports immediately. Yeah, I'll establish fishing fields. In the meantime, I was justifying on Hungary and I declared war on them straight away. I mean, we're not letting anyone in our faction unless they're our puppet. Switzerland would prove to be difficult because we have to take every single province, but it's also good because we can get a massive encirclement. With the fall of France, I was also able to focus on Denmark and Scandinavia now, and we're right outside Copenhagen. Are you ready for me to go in on...
Yes.
Okay, what do we got left? Scandinavia and Britain. After finishing up the remnants of Yugoslavia, Switzerland and France, I could finally focus my attention to Scandinavia because we couldn't get through into Sweden because they reinforced it too much, so we're going to have to do a naval invasion. And then also began preparing for an invasion of Italy because, well, we're not going to let them in our faction.
You know, I've always had I have a question. You obviously know the stereotype of, like, Australian, like, having, like, giant spiders and giant snakes and...
Yeah.
How good is your pest control?
I don't know.
Like, how often do you just, like, walk into your kitchen and you see, like, an 8-foot spider or whatever the fuck?
Not inside the house. Normally inside the house, it's, like, smaller spiders, but outside the house, oh my gosh. Like, in our back garden, there are just massive spiders everywhere. Actually, I do have one story about a spider in my bathroom. We have these spiders in Perth called a redback, okay? These are very highly venomous spiders, and I think they can kill you. I walked into my bathroom with the light off, and I felt something brush my hair, so I turned the light on, and sure enough, there was a redback spider on my head. I got it off immediately. Thankfully it was on my hair, right? Not on my skin, otherwise it could have bitten me. That would have been bad. And you've got Romania covered. Shall we declare war on them now or just wait?
We can declare war on them now.
Beautiful. We landed in Scandinavia and quickly began pushing, but supply was kind of rough there the further north we went, so it was taking longer than expected. Ooh, Operation Felix, going in on national Spain. Down in Italy, we also made a breakthrough eventually, mostly with the help of the United Kingdom invading them, because they're at war with the UK as well, but we're going to have to kick them both out. Also, if I wanted to invade Spain, I had to re-invade Vichy France, because, well, I wouldn't be able to have much of a border with Spain, so I guess no more Vichy France. Because Italy didn't join a faction, we actually got a peace deal with them, which the UK were involved in, and a bunch of other countries that had already capitulated.
Give North Eprius to Greece, give the rest to whatever you're gonna do with it, because that's what the occupation was, basically.
I ended up annexing all of the former Austrian lands from Italy, like Istria, and then that little bit that goes into northern Italy, and then just made the rest my puppet.
Yeah, no, that's good. Oh, Vichy France finally joined the Allies. If you want to justify the war goal, Zhukov and friends are ready to go after Bulgaria.
I've already started it, yeah. The Allies extensively tried to reinvade Italy. Fortunately, I had my army there, but also this game, Italy was surprisingly competent at defending its own ports.
I can't believe I have Nazi spies now, because I became spy master. Got an extra spy. Once we secure Europe, and I mean like really secure Europe, and like get a good headway into Africa, I'm gonna do like a big campaign into China.
Oh,
so what happens is my troops take the port, and then they don't put a front line on Corfu.
He was getting pretty wound up about this port thing. I mean, I don't blame him. Every time you take a province next to a strait, the front line disappears, which is a bug. It should be fixed, but yeah, I can understand his frustration.
If I transfer occupied territories to you, can you make another Rex Commissariat in the Balkans?
Yeah, I gotta have Bulgaria, Romania, including Bessarabia.
Oh, damn.
Let's just say he was not willing to give me Bessarabia. It might be the context of us going to war later. That's only if we get 10k likes in total over across our two videos. Unfortunately, Sweden and Norway were taking so long to capitulate with all the mountainous terrain and lack of supply that it was getting really late. I felt bad for John, so he had to go to sleep, plus I had to go to a class. I couldn't stay the whole day playing this game. So we left it there for the first recording session and came back a few days later.
But I need to make sure, like, I need to re-immerse myself in what was going on.
The Spanish front. I also have a war goal on Portugal, which I'm going to declare after I invade Spain. We're invading Norway. Oh yeah, the Indian front. After capitulating Norway and Sweden, the next logical step is to try and invade Britain, but getting supremacy in their waters is going to be difficult. I had been building up a navy, believe it or not, I actually had, and I have an air force strong enough to try and get air supremacy over the sea, so there might just be a chance that we could land. One thing that was for sure, though, was our invasion of Spain going well, because we were well into Madrid by now.
That'll give us a lot of tungsten.
Yes, they're very useful. I'm actually down on tungsten as well. Remember how our faction only lasted 730 days before it would just disappear? Well, it happened, it disappeared, but fortunately we can just create another faction, so we made a new one. Sinking Boogaloo, there we go. Perfect.
It's funny that they didn't prevent this from happening.
Alright, I've just recruited Heisenberg. He's working on the nuclear reactor right now. After capitulating Spain, I set up an invasion into the North Sea, while John Parker set up an invasion through the English Channel. You know, whatever one we get supremacy on would launch. I can make the Iberian Reich Commissariat. Hey! Reichskommissariat Iberian.
Oh, mine went.
And just like that, the invasion of Britain was off, with his going before mine, but mine would follow suit a bit shortly after.
By the way, if you have too many civilian factories, Sweden blew up their mines, so we're not getting a bunch of tungsten from them. I could transfer you those states.
And then...
Because it costs 15 civs to repair it, and I don't have... I need to build railways.
Once we broke through the initial defenses of Britain, it was pretty smooth sailing, especially when my second invasion landed.
Yeah, that's a lot of dead allies. There goes the UK.
And yeah. And of course, a German official. Reichskommissariat. Now that the UK is gone, we can focus on Ireland and North Africa, where John Parker would approach North Africa from the east and I would land in Casablanca, approaching from the west. Oh, and if you didn't notice, Chile is now a major, so we're going to have to trek our way all the way down to South America to be able to deal with it. Yeah, there should be some sort of thing where, like, we can get, at least if you're Germany, get Argentina on our side or something and just, like, invade Chile, because, bro, after waiting forever to get supremacy, I don't know why I struggled to get supremacy. I mean, maybe it's the American Navy, I don't know, but we finally got supremacy and I landed in Northwest Africa.
Bro, I keep failing the 80% chance for strikes to go away.
No.
This is like the second time it's happened.
John Parker and I decided to race to the Suez. Who was going to get there first? I had my motorized units in West Africa that was speeding along, okay? They were going very quickly, while he was bogged down in the Middle East with so many divisions, like, trying to stop him. Even though he's closer, he's got a lot less supply and a lot more divisions, whereas I am further away but have motorized units and more supply. So it's going to be close. Who's going to make it to the Suez first, you or me? It might actually be close.
Definitely you.
You reckon?
Definitely.
You're so close, though. I slowed down when I reached Tunisia a bit, but after pulling off this encirclement, I quickly picked up the pace again. Guys, comments.
Try and go like that.
Leave a comment right now, guys. Who do you think is going to get to the Suez first? Me, as Germany, invading all the way across Algeria, Libya, or Egypt, or John Parker trying to invade the Levant with, well, whatever he's up against.
It's like how the Polynesians were the first to Madagascar, coming all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
And then the Africans got their second, but it's right there.
Anyway, I finally invented the nuclear reactor, so it's time I start mass building them. Libya is when things start to get a bit annoying, because all of the land is like 2 provinces wide, so pushing with an army here can be kind of difficult. Fortunately, the British are really weak, so I can easily beat them. I was getting really close. I mean, I'm at Benghazi at this point, but some breath of fresh air blew into John Parker's army out of nowhere, because he suddenly started pushing too.
Holy shit.
When did this happen?
I think that's a sign I should train up another army.
Circle Tobruk. No Australians here, so it should be easy.
I love that reference. I know that was probably taught in your school for like a month. You should actually have a focus. Aw, man. Oh, wait, okay. We have to own all of Kingdom of Greece. But if we do that, you can do a focus called Puppet Turkey, which will actually split Turkey between us. Well, we should probably take up to Dakar. So we can do, like...
Oh, that's fair, hey. Yep, I got reminded that we're going to have to invade South America, so all the joy was sapped out of me right then and there. This whole time, Sardinia and Corsica had been under Vichy France occupation. I completely forgot that they were our enemies, so I had to go invade them real quick. Also, Malta, Balearic Islands, and Cyprus. You best hope that we're not going to do this duel, because I'm going to be having nukes. Are you making nukes?
Well, I'm making the anti-nuke, which is anti-air.
John Parker, the bombers always get through, okay? Remember that. The bombers always get through. I had started producing nuclear bombs, and I was going to use one for the very first time on America, because I really wanted to. I had taken Greenland, so it looks like I'm going to have to set up an airbase there so we can then nuke US. We are 3 hours into the second recording session already, and it's about midnight for me, and we still have, by my recording times, we still have 2 hours and 14 minutes left. I stayed up till at least 2:30 a.m. recording this. I mean, it was crazy. 20 command power. Risk-taking, huh?
Yeah.
Medium, I guess. Okay, my raid is ready to launch. 5 hours? 3 hours? 1 hour? Oh, it worked. You're gonna believe it? I can't take the place I nuked.
You can't take the place you nuked?
No. That's fine. We don't need it. We can now bomb the mainland, okay? So it's time.
I think if you nuke New York, it will kill the Statue of Liberty.
Yes. By now, I had researched thermonuclear bombs. However, when I tried dropping one on New York, it was well, just what? Oh.
Oh, it landed over there.
I didn't know that could happen. Okay. Yeah. Yep, it missed its target by, you know, a little bit. I didn't know they could just land, like, completely way off target now. But anyway, that was enough playing around with bombs. I actually set up a proper invasion of the United States of America. Anyway, I began my invasion of the United States of America, landing in Boston unopposed, surprisingly, but having to fight for New York.
I would say that New York is practically a different country from North Carolina, but the last time we did that, some guy came down through Georgia and burned everything.
Right. What's that referring to?
The Civil War.
The advance into America was going pretty well. I got distracted by trying to use nukes again, trying to bomb Washington. It didn't work. So instead, I opted for bombing Chicago. Although thinking about it, my bombs probably wouldn't have a big effect on Chicago. It's already rubble. I hit it.
It landed. There goes Chicago.
Goodbye.
Ironically, and now it's in. Ironically, it's in better shape than it was before.
Whoa, it's on fire. Chicago's on fire. Chicago's on fire. I mean, why am I surprised? I think it would be on fire if I hadn't dropped the bomb that day. Anyway, okay, that's enough. I'll stop. I had a collab on America as well, so by the time we were halfway across the country, they were very close to capitulation. There it is. Wow. Wow. And that would have been it if Chile wasn't a major, so now we gotta trek our way down there. John Parker and I had two different approaches in getting to Chile. He was just going to invade Central America, then Venezuela and Peru, and what's the other, until he got to Chile, basically. And I was naval invading. Except I was an idiot. I tried naval invading a country I wasn't at war with yet, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Sick and tired of trying to get this naval invasion to work. Fuck's sake. He keeps saying there's no units assigned to this order. There clearly is a fucking unit assigned to the order.
What are you trying to invade? We're not at war with them.
Oh, that's actually so facts. So I declared war on them and then invaded, and it worked, and from there I could invade Chile. We capitulated Chile, but now Brazil had become a major, so I had to go all the way over there and capitulate them through Argentina. Then, something happened, like another minor becoming a major. You're not gonna believe it. No, look at the majors, no. No, man, we were so close to being done.
Oh my god.
What is that?
I'll start my invasion of Ceylon, I guess.
For Australia, we both had different approaches as well. He was going to go from Ceylon to like random islands into Perth, and I was going to go from Chile across the Pacific into New Zealand and then Australia. Oh my god, there's a division on it. Oh my god. But it's okay, I put 3 on, but still. And then I invaded Fiji, but then the Japanese... Oh, just watch. I'm on Instagram Reels. Scrolling the pain away. God, Japan's... Oh, no. Japan,
what?
do not... They've invaded Fiji. No, man! Invades Fiji. I can't naval invade from Fiji. No.
That is unironically the saddest shit I've ever seen in this game.
Don't do that to me. However, it turns out I could just invade Australia straight from where I was. My navy had big enough range, so I did that instead. But this isn't even the worst of it, okay? Just wait. I want you to keep in mind that it's pushing 2:30 a.m. for me, and I haven't had a shower yet, okay, or anything. I just want to go to bed.
Colonel Cam?
Yes?
I'd say, given this experience, we would like to consider each other friends, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So please don't unbecome my friend when I tell you this.
What are you can tell me?
Congo Leopoldville has become the newest major of the Allied faction.
Oh my god. No, you're kidding me. What the fuck? What the fuck? What?
Paradox, you're gonna have some blood on your face.
Your boy's gotta go to sleep,
Well,
but Hoi 4 is keeping this man up.
Yep, there goes Australia. Okay, so here's what John Parker's going to do. He's gonna create a save game.
Alright, I'm not invading Congo Leopoldville. We have proven that we've beaten the Allies plenty of times. Actually, I can make a save game, and you can make a save game, and then we can do, like, our own peace deals in our own video. I think you make your peace deal, I make my peace deal, and then we get the viewers to vote.
Sure, that actually sounds fun.
And so that is what we did, okay? So go like his video, go like my video, because when we get 10k likes combined on our videos, we're going to do a massive duel, and you guys are going to vote on which peace deal we do it from. I would like to present to you my peace deal. The most obvious thing here is you can see the Allies are still alive in Southern Africa, but they're not at war with either of us. They're just gonna be there. Japan is still around, but again, they're not going to be involved in the war. They just take the whole of the Pacific, so we don't have to worry about it. America is divided with a communist and fascist puppet like Canada as well. And believe it or not, those two actually have divisions, okay? Their army didn't get destroyed when we puppeted them. Europe is the same as it was before, but I cleaned up the borders a bit, so now I've got some puppets in the Balkans, like a big Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Greece, a big Bulgaria and Romania, and the Soviet Union has just annexed everything because, you know, that's just what they do. I annexed Switzerland because they actually do have some German speakers, and I also annexed like the lower part of Denmark and made the rest my puppet. The other theatres are less important, but there's obviously one in Africa where he's got the Egypt and Sudan, I have the rest, but he's got the entirety of the Middle East, Eastern Turkey, India, Tibet, Iran, Afghanistan, you know, all that. I have Western Turkey, but also Brazil, while he has Argentina, Chile, and Colombia and the Central Americas. We also split Mexico. Vote for my peace deal, go into his comment section, and I don't know when he's releasing this video, but when he does, go into his comment section and say, use my peace deal. And then if we get 10k likes on our videos combined, then we'll have a big duel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Shout out to John Parker 117 for filming this collab with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.